Welcome to the Rock Fight, where we speak our truth, slay sacred cows, and sometimes agree to disagree. This is an outdoor podcast that aims for the head. I'm Colin True, and today we are drafting. It's the top outdoor brand draft, Schoolyard style. What does that mean? Well, we'll tell you in a minute. But before we do, are you subscribed to News from the Front, Rock Fight's weekly newsletter? If not, you should be, because it's pretty fucking awesome. Head to rockfight.co and sign up today. And hey, come back to the Rock Fight on Wednesday to hear Shawnté and I vamp about outdoor adventure topics. And definitely come back to the Rock Fight this Friday, when I will be joined by Thomas Mason from Ortavox, who will be taking the Rock Fight to task for our criticism of the launch of their new mountain bike apparel line. Busy week here on the Rock Fight Podcast Network, but today we draft, and we'll be right back to do just that.
Welcome to the Rock Fight, Rock Fight, Rock Fight.
In the store aisles, a quiet revolution is happening. With Endeavor, frontline staff aren't just selling products, they're building trust, making connections, and turning browsers into loyal customers. Let's see how. He didn't know which brand he wanted, just that the trail ahead was rocky. But she knew, because she'd trained for this moment right on her phone. A quick conversation, a confident recommendation, and a perfect fit hiking boot later, he's ready for his trip. That's right, she's a
Shop floor hero.
It may be lunchtime, but between sandwich bites, he learned about fog-fighting tech and snow goggles. An hour later, that knowledge helped a customer pick the perfect pair and add a helmet too. Learning on the go, selling with certainty, adding value. Yup, he's a
Shop floor hero.
Endeavor is a mobile-first platform that equips retail staff with training, incentives, and tools to boost sales and brand engagement. Brands gain insights, sell-through improves, while retail associates stay motivated. Ready to get started? Just head to endeavor.io, update your brand profile, and upload your dealer list to access the free features and, when you're ready, launch your first pay-as-you-go campaign. With flexible, scalable options, Endeavor turns everyday interactions into strategic wins. The result?
Be a shop floor hero. Endeavor's here to stay. Shop floor hero. Sell-through is the way.
Liz and Royal Robbins were known as American climbing royalty, part of the first group of Yosemite-based climbers that would scale routes yet unclimbed, who would promote the ethic of clean climbing, and who, with a core group of startup brands, would serve as the foundation of our modern outdoor industry. From their very first pair of shorts that could boast a true climbing functionality, Royal Robbins has become synonymous with comfort, versatile wear for the modern adventurer. From Rock Craft Productions coming spring 2026 to a specialty store near you, Royal Robbins presents Being Royal Robbins. It's the story of how the Royal Robbins men's desert pucker became an icon and spawned the new Camino pucker. And it's the story of how an innovative brand launched mosquito protection technology to keep you protected without the use of chemicals, and why the Salif hoodie is possibly the most unique hoodie in our outside world. And how you can experience this uniquely American story of adventure through the thoughtful clothing choices of Royal Robbins. Available for streaming everywhere you find actual water-based tributaries. Being Royal Robbins, because nature and adventure are good for the soul. Okay, I'm here with outdoor industry insider Eoin Comerford, brand and creative expert producer Dave. Got a comma there, Dave. You can give me notes on that later. AKA the Monday Boys.
Oh, sorry. Woo!
Whoa.
There it is. But also with us is Shawnté Salabert, because we're drafting today. Shawnté, welcome to the Monday episode of the Rock Fight.
Wow, it's like a whole new world over here. I feel like I've just elevated in status.
Or lowered yourself, one of the two.
Or lowered myself to your level. No, any chance I get to be on air with the
Yeah, fair enough.
of the Rock Fight. What a delight.
I thank you, Shawnté.
We're recording this later in the day than we typically do, and also we're all having a beverage. Cheers, everybody!
Cheers.
Happy hour to the draft today.
Cheers.
All right.
I mean, we're drafting. One has to, Yes.
I'd like to thank Eoin for keeping us honest in that regard.
That's what his job is. Recommends, make suggestions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Trunk
absolutely.
Eoin is here, everybody.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yes, it's so good. Mm-hmm.
All right. So earlier this year, we established beyond the shadow of a doubt what the top 5 brands are when it comes to footwear, apparel, gear, and accessories. We, along with our pal Justin Hausman, who sat in on a couple of those episodes, declared the top 5 outdoor brands for 2025 in each of those categories. But then I got to wondering, well, who's the best of the best? And today we're going to find out because we're going to draft our own individual teams of brands from those top 5 lists, and then our listeners will vote on those lists to determine who has the best team of the best brands. Now, drafting on a podcast is hardly a new gimmick. We did it recently with the Outdoor Towns draft that we did. Unfortunately, no one remembers who won the listener poll.
Wow.
Nobody at all.
No
Really,
one.
no.
Nobody
Barely,
at all.
no,
Just
no.
me and all the people who voted for my list.
It was
That I did
Shawnté.
not
She
pay.
won. Okay. That was quite the upset. 2 major cities, and you pulled out the victory.
It really was. I mean, I will say I'm more nervous, for today because of that win.
So I don't know, though, if I've heard anyone ever do a schoolyard style draft. And so that's the difference that every brand is going to come off the board. We have 20 brands. We have 4 of us. We're each going to be drafting 5 brands for our respective rosters. So much like picking teams on the schoolyard when we were kids, there will be a number 1 pick and there's going to be a last pick. So any questions on the format or what we're doing here today or any comments on it before we kind of get into the draft here?
So for at the end of the day, I mean, are we trying to get like a range to where we've got some good coverage, or this is just the top? If we've got all gear brands and that's what we think are the best 5
What
brands.
lives
and
in your heart, Owen?
Okay, all right.
I did think, should we try and get like 1 from each category, then maybe add a wild card? And it's like,
No.
you know, that would
just
probably
be
be over
renegades.
pretty quickly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Plus,
So
it allows us to reflect back on, you know, the drafts of yore.
I feel like
Mistakes that were made.
mistakes that were made. You know, the one person not here is Hausman, so we can't, I don't know about defending his honor on some of these choices. If he was a heavy lean-in for some of the choices that end up toward the bottom of the pack, maybe,
Or we just blame him for
I think we blame him regardless. Yeah, that's
It's a perfect
pretty
scapegoat.
much.
Thank you, Justin, in advance.
Yes.
All right, before we draft, it is Monday, and there's some outdoor industry news that we need to talk about. So it's time for the Rock Fight Lightning Round.
Lightning round.
And today's Rock Fight Lightning Round is presented by LEMS, maker of the 100% vegan and 100% comfortable Primal Zen. First up, Columbia Sportswear has filed suit against Columbia University alleging trademark infringement and breach of contract. Shawnté, do you often confuse Columbia for Columbia?
We haven't mentioned the country Columbia in there, so there's so many. I mean, it really seems like Columbia, the universities, this is their year for being sued. They just settled with the Trump administration for, what was it, $200 million?
$200 million,
back,
mhm.
yeah, they're going to hopefully get back roughly twice that in their funding. But honestly, when I first saw this headline, I got strong backcountry sues everybody vibes. So my question for
That
you
worked
guys,
out great for them.
right? It worked out wonderfully. My question to you guys is, does this mean that Columbia, the brand, will end up in next year's Brand Boner Hall of Fame?
That's a really good question. I mean, is there a waiting period like the NFL Hall of Fame where you have like 5 years, or are they an automatic in with this one?
I mean, this might be an automatic in. It might be like, yeah, they just got the golden ticket straight to Boner Hall of Fame. I didn't make the rules for that, but I feel like we can slide them in, if you know what I'm saying.
But do you think that this is sort of Columbia Sportswear saying to Columbia University, hey guys, you're making us look bad over here. All this crap you're doing with all the stuff and the protests and now kowtowing to Trump and paying him $200 million. You're making us look bad. So just
That would
F
be an
you.
interesting pivot.
And all of that, mosquito repellent apparel you sell in your bookstore. We're worried about that too.
And your Omni Heat hot for school wear.
I think the Apparel Brands Council really needs to think about this. I mean, you picked like a week after Columbia settles for $200 million to file your suit, dude. The coffers are
They're waiting
dry.
for that
Like, come on,
research
man.
money.
And I'm just, from a copyright perspective, I think it's really interesting. Columbia, the brand, is like what, mid-20th century. Columbia, the university is like 1750s. Like they might have a little bit of grandfathering going on here. I'm just wondering how that's going to work.
I also would like to see the confusion of all the kids walking around Columbia's campus and people were like, "Hey, is that Columbia Sportswear you mean?"
Confusion of Columbia, the University for Columbia, the apparel is something that's never happened actually in New York. Right. So there you go.
All right, next up, after a few years of turbulence, Outdoor Voices is bringing back founder Ty Haney to help right the ship. Dave, after closing all 16 of their doors and reports that vendors went unpaid, does Outdoor Voices have enough brand equity to mount a comeback with their original founder at the helm?
We were conducting some consumer research, and 9 out of 10 people confused Outdoor Voices with Marine Layer. So I don't know if that's the answer to what's going on here, or Howler Brothers. I can't remember which one that was, but.
Don't bring Howler Brothers into this.
What? Another cotton-based outdoor lifestyle brand? Please.
I would say Outdoor Voices had a pretty specific place in terms of D2C brands and D2C darlings, and also how they engaged with that female audience. And so I think actually this is it was the only move they had, quite frankly, was bringing Ty back, because she left before all the shit hit the fan. So I think her hands are somewhat clean in this. I also love the way they did it. So first of all, she's been involved since last August, but they kept it quiet and didn't let everyone know until right before they're ready to launch product that people could buy. Super smart. The other thing that they did was they did this sort of really cool soft announce for their super fans. What they did was on Insta, they dropped all their follows except Ty, and they wiped their whole feed.
Yep.
And so the super fans were like, "Oh, what's going on?" And so it created all of this buzz within that community about what's happening, way more than if they just said, "Hey, this is happening." So I think they've played this pretty well. For me, as like the industry geek guy, I'm more interested in what does this mean for the outdoor industry, and specifically, are they going to lean more into wholesale this time around, when obviously the D2C retail was a bit of a shit show. So yeah, I could see that. I could see Outdoor Voices being sold in REI or specialty retail.
You think they got a bump from all the times Shawnté mentioned them during our top 5 apparel conversation?
I was just priming the consumer.
Maybe she was in on it. It was all part of the teaser campaign, right? The teaser campaign. Oh, I like that.
I got paid a cool $10 to do that.
And
that's what one of those Venmos you got was.
$10 coupon.
Yeah, Starbucks gift card. Yep.
10% off.
Yes.
All right, last one before we get to the draft. So because we are contractually obligated to talk about them, Vermont's Turtle Fur has announced the promotion of Erica Canfield from VP of Marketing and E-commerce to the big chair of CEO. And any top-to-top pieces you'd offer to Erica as she... pieces of advice, you'd offer to Erica as she embarks on the head of the best named brand in the outdoor industry?
First of all, I'd say figure out what really differentiates your brand and its products in the outdoor marketplace, and really lean into that, both in terms of your marketing, your branding, and your product planning. So make sure you really stand for something. The second thing, and not to be a broken record here, but lean into wholesale and actually, go out, listen to your retailers. I would say take it with a grain of salt, though, because we can be pretty whiny bastards, but at least listen and try to take away from that what you can. And finally, focus your D2C on full price sales, and really take that top of the funnel marketing and brand awareness dollars and spread that around so that you're helping all channels. Yes, you're helping your own D2C, but you're also helping wholesale. You're helping everybody to really know who Turtle Fur is and where they can get that product. And don't be fighting at the bottom of the funnel for that last sale with your dealers.
Dave, are you interested in saying something about Turtle Fur before we move on?
What's left to say, Colin? First off, I think it's congratulations. I think it's an awesome move, just from a kind of keeping the cohesion of the brand's management and outlook and kind of founding principle. I think to their core customer and partners, they're gonna love this move. I just think it's awesome. I think it's a great move for them.
Shawnté, how many mentions is Turtle Fur going to get in your upcoming book?
I plead the fifth. I don't want to get sued by Columbia.
Today's episode of The Rock Fight is presented by LEMS. Are you looking for shoes that offer both long-lasting durability and all-day comfort? Well, look no further than LEMS with a versatile lineup featuring over 30 thoughtfully designed styles from minimalist sandals, ask Shawnté about that, and rugged trail boots to vegan-friendly sneakers and laid-back slip-ons. There's truly something for everyone. Whether you're hitting the trail, traveling the globe, or strolling through town, LEMS are built to move with you naturally and keep up every step of the way. Get shopping over at lemsshoes.com. And now we're ready to get into the draft. And today's the Rock Fight Schoolyard brand draft is presented by Oboz, who loves hiking. And as the Cupid of the outdoors, Oboz wants to help you love hiking just as much as they do. So for the Schoolyard draft, the only requirement here is that we each end up with 5 brands. So each time we make a selection, we're basically looking to see who's the strongest brand, who we believe to be the strongest brand left on the board. We're going to determine the draft order in a minute, and then we'll draft until all 20 brands are taken. We're going to go snake style, so 1 through 4, 4 through 1. And then it will be up to the Rock Fight listeners to determine who has the best roster of who we have already called the best outdoor brands of 2025. And I did want to say, with that in mind, a quick pre-draft message to whichever one of these brands is drafted last. You've already won, because you're in the conversation. There's a lot of brands who aren't even get mentioned today, at least, that are going to be drafted. So we may have some regrets from some of those initial top 5 lists, but whatever. You're on the list. You're already a winner of what happened, regardless of what happens today. So, we ready to determine the draft order?
Let's do it.
I have a little win. So
Colin?
I feel really nervous. You guys are going to think like I rigged this because if I get the first pick, but I promise I got everybody's name on a little spinner here on an app.
Wait, before
Okay.
you do that though, Colin,
Yeah.
are you feeling nervous because last time you were pickle in the middle?
I don't want any pickle in the middle. I want 1 or 4 so bad.
But you would have a joint pickle. There would be 2 pickles. Like
That's
a
true. At
double
least I'd have
pickle.
company this time.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
wanna be
way too
in
much
the middle.
pickle talk going on right now. Okay.
Dude, wait.
Not enough pickleball talk.
When you were talking about boners earlier. So, what's going on
Always.
over here? All right, here we go. First
Okay.
spin. Owen, you got the first pick in the draft.
Are you sure that wasn't
As
the
it,
4th pick?
as it should be.
Wasn't that the
But
4th
now I have
pick?
Yeah,
the
are we
eighth.
working,
Can we go
are we
backwards?
working middle out?
You didn't.
I think
you
that
didn't
was number
stipulate that.
It's middle out.
Middle out.
Like an
Out.
Oreo.
That's exactly right.
like a Reese's cup.
D2F.
All right, Shawnté is number 2.
Oh, it's already
box on
fixed,
your house.
man. It's already
All
fixed.
right, Dave, down to you and me for 4th pick. Here we go. Or 3rd and 4th pick. Oh, producer Dave, I get the 4th pick.
Oh, all right, Dave, you ready to
All
fill
right.
it up?
All right.
Okay, let's talk for one quick second about the brands we're going to be drafting and how we got here. So in January, we anointed the top 5 footwear brands. We had a conversation. It was Dave, Owen, Justin, and I. And we went through a list that we sort of made up on our own on the fly.
It was our first list. Yeah.
It was the first one.
Yeah. There was,
Yeah.
It's not
Right.
the strongest of the lists.
The 5 we spoke about, we determined were Hoka, On Running, Birkenstock, Merrell, and Norda. I see what we were trying to do.
Yeah. But yeah, we
some trendy
did
topics.
miss 1 or 2 brands in the conversation.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We call that the Sullivan corollary.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to, I think we did gear next. And then we did a little bit better job there. Owen provided some sell-through data to give us a list to pull from. And the top 5 gear brands we named were NEMO, Osprey, Exped, BD, Black Diamond, and MSR. And then I think
Solid
accessories is where Shawnté joined us on accessories.
Mm-hmm.
And our top 5 list there was Sea to Summit, Smartwool, Outdoor Research, Garmin, and Biolite. And then the episode that really kind of got a lot of attention, which we released just this past May, which was apparel. And our top 5 apparel brands were LIVSN, Picture Organic, Cotopaxi, Fjallraven, and Mountain Hardwear. So our participants today, we are all going to be drafting from those 20 brands. And then we will end up with our top 5 list.
Yeah, but you're all winners in our heart, truly.
Absolutely.
You are.
They already won.
They already won. They're
this
on
is
the
just
list.
cherry on top stuff. This is really just for Colin, to be honest.
It's really just to drive listeners. Let's be really honest. I mean, come on.
That's a good point.
Try to get
These
those
are-
numbers up.
yeah, that's right. You all want to know who we draft. So, Owen, who's the first pick? Who are you going to take first?
So probably to the surprise of nobody, I'm going to go with NEMO. Just long time admirer of the brand, founder led, based in innovation, sustainability, also covers a ton of great gear categories, amazing tents, sleeping bags, pads, packs. innovative furniture, this with the Stargazer chair. I mean, I could go on and on. If you want more, listen to our episode where we talked to the founder, Cam. But yeah, just it was an easy pick for me at number one.
Okay, was that, I mean, without tipping too much, was that going to be anybody else's number one pick?
Maybe.
No, with apologies to Nemo.
Maybe.
No.
It was high on my list. It was high on my draft board, but it was not.
Okay,
Maybe.
all right. I see
All right.
what you people are. Okay,
Maybe.
Me. Shawnté, you're on the clock.
All right. I'm gonna go with Cotopaxi. I came out
Oh!
strong for them in the apparel episode. I think they also have some great bags. I've been taking one of their bags out with me on day hikes lately. But I love what they do. I've loved their ethos from the beginning. I love that they are drawing on local tradition, local craftspeople, that there's color involved, that bold color in different colorways, customizable options for the consumer. I think all in all, I still love what they're doing. I believe in what they're doing, and that has not waffled for me in quite some time. So I know that it's not maybe the most far-ranging brand on this list, but for me, it just has, there's a familiarity I feel with the brand, and I love what they do. So I am going full color here.
All right.
Cotopaxi.
I think this is a guilt pick for us calling them out during our live show with Switchback. And we're trying to make up for it. You're like, I got to take them number ones. I feel kind of guilty about that.
No, they're such lovely people, but yes. Okay.
We are talking. Lindsay Shumless, their CEO, may be coming on the pod in August. I don't mind teasing. So yes, to talk about what's going on at Cotopaxi. All right. I had they weren't as high on my draft board. So we'll see.
No, we
right.
know how
Dave,
you feel. True.
I like Cotopaxi
Okay.
a little bit. All right.
You've accused them of not being an outdoor brand at one point on this very podcast.
Mhm.
That is true. But I also, on the apparel episode, said that they are maybe the original sort of like outdoor lifestyle brand that like Royal Robbins is trying to do now and Passengers trying to do now. Like,
Okay,
and so
all
they
right.
kind of, that's actually why we want to talk to Lindsay. It's like
Right,
they
is that-
really
yeah.
live at that intersection.
Core versus
And
not
so-
core. Okay. All right.
And how do you define them, right? So,
Okay.
producer Dave on the board.
Hmm.
I know where you're going. I feel really good about
Really?
predicting what.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
I have an inkling.
That's interesting. Patagonia. Oh, wait a minute. They're not there.
Out of the list, damn it. That was my number one pick,
Right.
too.
That was going to be my number one pick. Well, Biolite.
Somebody didn't do their homework.
I'm going to stick with Hardwear. I'm going
All
straight
right.
to it for many of the same reasons that Owen talked about. This is a complete brand, head to toe, gear to accessory. It's got some, OG credibility to it. It's also got a resurgence in kind of the new school. They've been up, they've been down. I think if you're talking about kind of solid core with an extended range outside or extended reach outside of, it's Hardwear.
Yeah, that was pretty high on my board.
We're up there for me too.
Yeah.
Same.
I actually was talking with a friend of the pod, Wes Allen, this week, and they're doing a big kind of in-store promotion collaboration with Mountain Hardwear at Sunlight Sports, and he said it is crushing for them. They are just doing a lot of business with Mountain Hardwear this summer. So
They've done some nice work in their.
And everyone loves a
co-branded.
comeback story.
They do.
right,
They do.
Columbia. Once you get that Columbia money, invest back into hardware a little
You
bit.
know, well, that's it. You go and sue people and reinvest that money in your satellite
There you
brands.
go.
It's a
See,
brilliant.
Everyone in
move.
Richmond's is rooting
It's
for
a
that
brilliant
lawsuit money.
play.
Let's
That's
go.
exactly right. Next up, Duke. Let's get them.
Or maybe they're going to bring back Montreal with that money. That's what they're really planning on doing.
Pick a different university and go after it. You can resurrect.
Trump's onto something
Uh-huh.
with this strategy.
Uh-huh.
Just, Okay, for my first pick, so I get two.
Jeez.
I'm
He's throwing it out this.
just making sure everybody knows. All
right.
right. So I get to take two off the board. My first one is going to be Norda
Whoa.
because it's my favorite of the footwear options, and I didn't want to miss out on that by waiting to take it in a later round.
Okay.
I think Norda is, since this draft, our top 5 footwear list, I have gotten a pair of Nordas and been wearing the Nordas, and I am a believer in that brand. Hoka is what Hoka is. I've never been an On fan, so I just couldn't bring myself to draft that. Birkenstock Classic and Merrell is Merrell, but I think Norda is, for me, the best brand on that list, and also the one with the highest upside, and most people will be the most fun to track over the next few years. So I'm going
Also
with
the
Norda.
smallest by revenue, but who's counting?
This isn't a have and have nots draft, right? This is
Well, if it's Norda, it's just for
Colin.
the haves because they only make $300 shoes. But hey,
But you can wear them
that
twice
was
as
good.
long.
That was
that's
pretty
true.
good.
That is true.
That's the whole thing. I mean, I loved when I heard about Norda by listening to the pod, and what I like about it is the idea that they're thinking about creating less shoe waste, but also perhaps more money for themselves. But I think really that idea of if we could create stuff that lasts longer and is maybe repairable or whatever, shoes not so much in that case for an athletic shoe, but I like that idea, and I'm curious to see if it lives up to the promise. I think it's still early days to really understand and know. I've heard mixed stuff from thru hikers, but I get it.
It's cool. It's cool. It is a cool brand. It is.
Yeah, I would say because I did a hike in them recently that was a little bit on the longer side. And it definitely feels more like a running shoe. It doesn't quite translate the same way towards hiking. I think like maybe like a Topo or an Ultra does. But I really like the brand. All right, for my second and third choices are both still available here. I think there's like a chalk move and then there's like a fun. No, I'll go Black Diamond.
Oh, a classic. All right. I like that you've paired up a classic and an upstart.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Thank you, Shawnté. Game recognizes game, right?
That's right.
All right. No, I mean, it's Black Diamond. I mean, they're. It's what I don't know. Is there a more authentic brand on this list in terms of like what they do, how they go about what they do? We know they're kind of like in that in the middle of their comeback, but even then, their brand, even as they were having some like down, maybe down years, their brand and their products were never, they maintained the integrity of both of those as they were going through those times. So, Black Diamond,
and just the dominant player in their category in climbing. They just own it. And then they've got apparel, backcountry skiing, footwear, a lot of stuff. Yeah, great brand.
So that's what I got, Norda and Black Diamond. Dave, back to you, bud.
Well, I'm going to follow a similar path where I'm going to kind of bring together two of the opposite ends. And I'm going to go with Exped. Oh. And again, you talk about kind of a new school player, core accessory equipment side of things. I love the look of their brand. Their products have a distinct language. It doesn't matter what category they're in. It's pretty easy to tell an Exped product. And those mats are comfy. So, yay.
Yay. Such enthusiasm, Dave.
Well, I mean,
they are
once you kind of spread out on one of those things and you get off your feet, they're pretty good.
We got the chat with Alex from Exped at the Outdoor Market Alliance a few weeks ago. Owen and I did, and they kind of just keep crushing it. Like they just seem to be moving into that. There still seem to be ascending, right? Like we talked, I think, when we did the episode on accessories about how Thermarest and these other kind of brands who had sort of had that sort of market share for such a long time. And it does feel like the kind of camping brand du jour is shifting towards Exped. They're bringing out packs. Mm-hmm. They have kind of a whole range of sleep systems. Right. So it's I don't know, Shawnté, are you starting to see more of that out on the trail? Yeah.
Exped? I mean, no, not really yet. I'll be honest with you. I have one of those big burly kind of winter mats that I love for winter trips in the Sierra and stuff like that. But no, I mean, a lot of, when it comes to people who are doing a lot of backpacking, whether or not they consider themselves to be thru hikers, they're still looking for light gear. And I think Exped still isn't a leader in that category, but
right.
But they make quality gear. I mean, you're not wrong with any of that. And I, certainly have enjoyed what I've used from them. On my end.
Whenever I'm using an Exped pack, I always get asked if I'm from Switzerland. So I think it really...
It does feel very
Yes,
Euro.
It does, right?
You feel very exotic when you wear it, do you, Dave?
Uh-huh. Are you going to the Alps? No, just going to the park.
Climbing my own mountains, man. Internal ones.
Internal ones, yes.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to follow that up.
You're up.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to go with a multi-use, kind of a classic, I think, strong and steady multi-use sort of brand. And I've considered going in two directions with this. but I think I am going to go with MSR here. And I feel like, we've talked about other brands innovating and doing things. What MSR does is I think they have developed some great products that have stood the test of time. I think they've got, you talk about something like a Hubba Hubba tent, or you talk about a Pocket Rocket, which is still, you see people, anyone from those thru hikers to weekend campers to casual backpackers carrying those things because they're small and they do exactly what they're advertised to do. But then you can get into some more of the technical gear. I think, they cover anything from a casual weekend camper to somebody who's backpacking to people maybe taking some of this on winter expeditions, So I think of MSR as kind of a tried and true brand that covers a lot of ground, from camping to backpacking to camp cooking. And I'm going to give them a little support and pop them on my list.
So we're debuting, Gear Abbey pretty in the next, month or so, right? Shawnté, you're going to be hosting that podcast.
I suppose.
Will we be doing a breakdown of pocket rockets and the different kinds of pocket rockets that exist and the different uses for the pocket rocket? I think that's something that we should do on Gear Abbey.
Is that one of our 18 and over episodes? I think every episode is 18 and over, honestly.
They must giggle internally at MSR every
sounds
time,
18
right?
and under to me. Okay.
And under?
Owen's like, move it on.
18 and under?
Hey,
What's
listen,
going
Owen,
on
at
with
least
that?
we're not talking about what, okay?
Thank
What's
you.
that? What do you mean?
We're just going to
We're not talking about that. Anyway,
Oh, poop.
All right,
okay,
two
so
picks
I get
from the
back to
consigliere
here,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So
Yes,
this
you
is
do.
Great. Okay, so the second brand on my list, actually, which I now get to choose, is the dominant player in their category. Like there isn't even a close second, which is Osprey. They are the absolute pack leader, and just dominate the category. I mean, if you don't have Osprey, you really aren't really selling packs. So, and they've grown obviously beyond just core backpacking packs. They do great travel systems, great kid carriers. I mean, really, they cover the gamut. So, and still based in the ass end of nowhere, wherever they are. Where is it? They're in somewhere in what's the town?
Where are they based?
Yeah, they're in.
Is it Cortez or something like
Cortez,
that?
thank you, Cortez,
Yeah, okay,
yes.
right.
It's a
Thank
nest, Owen. It's a nest.
Before you make your next pick, I just want to point out, gear's off the board. We have all 5 gear selections now picked. What does this say about our industry? The gear, I would not have picked that and say, within 2 rounds, all 5 gear brands would be gone.
That doesn't shock me because that is what the core of our industry is, right? At its core, we are a gear industry. Now, I'm not sure we see that in every outdoor store we go to anymore, but that is the core. I'm going to go a little bit less core-ish with my next pick, which is Fjallraven, and I think it's my personal favorite apparel brand, but also, like, if I was building my store, it would be one of the brands that I if he said you can only have X number of apparel brands, it would be the one I would pick because it has its own look, it has its own identity, it has its own feel. I mean, I can get shells and puffy jackets from 50 other brands, and they won't look or perform that much differently. But Fjallraven does Fjallraven only the way Fjallraven does it. So they are my next pick.
Curses. That was going to be my second pick or my third pick, I guess. No, I mean, what a great pick, Owen. I completely agree with you 110%. I think they're one of those brands that also does that good straddle of core versus casual user that we love to talk about so much on the pod. So kudos to you, and damn it. But it is my turn again, isn't it?
It is. It brings
sure
it back to you,
is.
Shawnté.
All right, I'm going outdoor research. I love an accessory. We of course know OR is known for their hats, their gloves, their gaiters, yada yada yada. But I also think they do a great job when it comes to things like you just mentioned shells. I think they actually do great shells. I think that they are one of those brands that, again, I trust them to not only stay consistent, but I do trust them to innovate from time to time. And it's something that I have always enjoyed about their products. And I own so much outdoor research shit that it's just like, it would be ridiculous for me not to, because it makes me realize how much I've bought over the years, starting when I was a little baby backpacker. So to me, they're just one of those companies that stands the test of time, and they make great gear. And yeah, it may not be, elite level fancy pants like Arc'teryx or whatever, but I think most of their products do what they say they're going to do, and they do it well.
I would agree. I mean, I think actually Outdoor Research has really, we talk about Mountain Hardwear making a comeback. From an apparel perspective, I think Outdoor Research has also made a huge upgrade in the last, I don't know, call it 5 or 6 years. I used to think of Outdoor Research as, pretty much an accessories brand that had apparel that was pretty frumpy and, it was very good, but it was utilitarian, not very exciting. Today, I think actually Outdoor Research their apparel is cool. It looks good. It fits well. It performs well. Yeah, they've come a long way in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those brands that I'm surprised when I look at all of the things I own, apparel wise, accessories wise, how much I have is testament to, how well they've stood the test of time. But yeah, I agree 100%. I think especially with jackets, shells, like they've really done a great job over the years, sort of ramping up that part of their brand.
And I think the Seattle sombrero is like the one product that personifies that thing that a brand makes that they become known for, that they just can't drop later because what a pointless piece of gear.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Gore-Tex hat. Come on.
I know. No, I do know what you're talking about, Colin.
No. OR's great. Talk about a steady Eddie. I mean, that's got to be the way I look at it. The steadiest of Eddies, right?
Pairs of the Iceline gloves have I owned, or not the Iceline, the sun gloves.
Dave, you're up.
It's getting thin.
We'll recap what we got left after. We'll do these next two picks, and then we'll see what we have left.
Okay. Well, it's easy for me now that we've moved through some of our kind of core essentials here. Now we're going with a classic staple that might even vie for an iconic image of outdoor in general, and that would be the Birkenstock.
Oh, that's
I
so
thought
you.
that was
That's
I thought that was going to be your first pick.
Would not have been my pick, but yeah.
Right. It is probably one of the hottest brands on this entire chart in terms of resurgence. It is absolutely a what do you call it? Kind of the fit check, footwear right now. I think it's an introductory. I think it's a gateway drug to the outdoors. It brings unsuspecting patrons in, and they get on their Birkenstocks for comfort and trend, and end up at a music festival. And the next thing you know, they're camping in the backcountry. So I think it's a staple of the outdoor. Absolutely.
It's also the shoe that was recommended to me when I got diagnosed with arthritis, and it's been great.
Right, it is a multi-generational outdoor accessory, without a doubt.
Is Dave wearing Birkenstocks over his fits right now?
Dude, I was so close to doing that, yes, but usually you can find me there. No doubt about it.
And also, if anybody listening to this doesn't maybe identify Birkenstock as an outdoor brand, I was talking to a rep who I know who reps Birkenstock and just serves many specialty retailers, and it's just print and cash for them. Just crushes for them all day long. Like one of their best lines that they carry. So
they do a great job supporting outdoor specialty too.
It's all about the cork.
No, but they're a full price brand that supports outdoor specialty, and those brands should be celebrated.
And they've been around since like 1758 or something.
I think
been around as long as Columbia University.
I think actually older. I think they're older.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Since the time of Jesus, perhaps.
Yes, or at least the Middle Ages, Dark Ages, right?
Yeah, Jesus wore his Birkenstocks all those dead shows back in the day.
He was rocking the Arizonas.
Arizona. I think you were stepping over the Black Death, actually, just trying to make your way through town.
Comfortably, though.
That's right.
Very comfortably.
That's right.
Very comfortably. Molded cork footbed.
All right. This one's, we've only taken one accessory. So I'm going to take an accessory pick now. I'm going to go Smartwool. Sorry, Dave.
Oh, no, you can have that.
This is if Norda was that's the cool upstart pick, BD sort of the category dominant pick. This is I think we said on the time when we did the accessories podcast about, like if you're going to open a specialty shop, like one of the first 3 or 4 calls you're going to make is going to be Smartwool. It's just one of those brands. So love them, hate them, whatever it is, you got to carry it. It is a staple of the specialty retailer. So that's a pretty easy one. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and recap who is left on the board. Today's episode of The Rock Fight was brought to you by Oboes, who wants us to know that even though they're pissed not to be draft eligible, they still want to share their love of hiking. And we want to help them by uncovering all the different reasons we love to take the long walk, including the following. Number 1, because you like a side of danger with your scenery. Shawnté, any danger that occurred while out on the trail?
Like when I did an unplanned glissade down a snow slope, and then when I fell in Whitney Creek at the butt crack of dawn.
There was a lot of scenery around you, though, right? Yeah.
There was some good scenery, though. Yeah, it was a combo deal.
Number 2, if you're lucky, you'll get to experience all 4 seasons in one afternoon. That's a bonus, right?
That's like living in Wisconsin growing up.
Number 3, you'll finally understand why boots cost $170, which is the exact cost of the Oboes Catabatic LT Low with Gore-Tex. The LT takes the Catabatic collection to a whole new level with a lighter package and additional environmentally friendly materials. And the waterproof LT Low features Gore-Tex Invisible Fit, combining true fit, feel, and comfort. And this hiking appreciation moment is brought to you by Oboes of Bozeman, Montana. Oboes is the maker of premium quality footwear for the trail and the Cupid to the outdoor world. Oboes. Love hiking. All right, here's who's left. We have Hoka, On Running, Merrell, LIVSN, Picture Organic, Cedar Summit, Garmin, Biolite. I want to point out, too, Shawnté's pick of Outdoor Research. Outdoor Research was an accessories winner this year, top 5 accessories, not apparel. So people were wondering about that. So that's who we have left. And I'm going to take LIVSN.
I knew it.
Is that who you wanted next? Is that why?
No reason.
I mean, come on, LIVSN. We talk about a bunch on the pod. You know, living the values that we all want to see from, either how they make their products, the performance of their products. Andrew, who, the founder of the brand, is desperate to get me a pair of their overalls. It's never going to happen, but they just make incredibly well constructed, good looking clothing that fits that sort of outdoor lifestyle. Pardon using the word lifestyle, but just their brand. They're doing it the right way. My favorite thing, I've said it on the pod before, Andrew said it on the pod when he was on, is that their head of product, is also their head of sustainability. And it's those little innovations, outdoor industry, that we need to see more of in terms of how we're making things, than when learning from emerging brands. So happy to have LIVSN on my squad.
Great pick. I'm not sure if I could have picked them. I might have had to recuse myself as a board advisor to the company, but just a great company, and it really truly lives what they talk about. In their board meetings, the first hour is about sustainability, which there's lots of companies that talk about sustainability, but it's like, no, this is really what they're about. It is insane.
That's amazing.
I would say, Owen, being a board advisor, you should be obligated to have to pick them. I don't.
I
can't.
Right?
Wait a minute.
I'd like to point out that Owen did not take you number one
you must.
overall,
It should have been your
Andrew.
first pick.
Let's make sure.
Right? So
I wasn't going to let them be
by
the
that
last
logic,
pick.
NEMO is still on the board. Okay, so
I know.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right, Dave, back to you, bud.
Oh my God.
No, it's Owen's turn.
No, it's back to producer Dave.
Whoa.
You skipped yourself there, Shawnté.
Wait a
I
minute.
never want to do that.
Wait a minute. I wasn't ready.
Self-deprecating.
Where to go? Now I'm.
Dave's still thinking about his Birkenstock.
I'm truly flummoxed. They're so.
He's like, I'm
comfortable.
done. I got birds.
Right?
I'm ready to go.
I'm good. I'm
Right.
going home.
And my socks that don't have a Smartwool on them. Which one shall I go with?
Don't pick mine.
Pick Shawnté.
Which one is yours,
Don't.
Shawnté?
No, just don't pick it.
Do
You know me well enough by now?
Do I round?
Oh my God! I just realized something. Sorry, Dave. I'm gonna get the last pick of the draft.
Oh my God.
Good.
Well, you really don't
Fuck.
get the last pick of the draft because
No,
somebody
Dave gets to decide. who's the
Exactly, who
last
is the last pick? Exactly. Yes, he'll force you.
We chose
into
it
the last
for
pick.
you.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. All right. Well, you know what? That makes me very happy about the first 4 I picked.
Be prepared to defend whatever it is.
With your life.
I'm sending Dave. There's someone I want Dave to take right now. I'm sending you through the Zoom call.
I'm going to take Picture Organic off the board.
That was not who I was sending.
Right.
That's a good one, though. That's a good one.
Just because they have, I've admired their brand since since first seeing them back in ISPO, many moons ago, and they were just a kind of a small for then 20 by 20, lots of merchandise displays. They really use the kind of the window display as a very effectively to show their product off, their brand vibe off. They've always done a really great job of that, and so I Again, love the color palette. You talk about, kind of the ground that Cotopaxi has kind of turned. I think pictures right up there with them, even though we didn't see them as much here in the States. They were right there. So I'm all in. Picture organic. It's a great compliment to my Birkenstocks and Expeds. Right. With
I will say, my team and Dave's team are kind of crushing right now. You guys are a little basic on the left-hand side of the board.
Okay. Well,
right?
well, let's see what happens when the votes come in, Colin.
Yeah, right.
Colin.
Right.
Wow.
That's true. You have the brands with the larger Instagram following.
I have the brands with a larger revenue following. Yeah,
That's right. And he has a very active LinkedIn, and we know everything. LinkedIn is really the center of our university these days.
yeah.
To that point, you can see our personalities in our teams, though, right? Where
Totally.
Owen's going for revenue. Shawnté, you've got pretty heavy backpacking. Like Dave.
Could be worse.
Dave has Birkenstock.
Dave's all about brand.
Yeah. Dave's just chilling through this.
That's
Dave's all
a
about
cool
Colin's about
assembly.
Flash.
I'm telling you, that's a pretty bitchin' base camp.
Okay, we'll see.
Bitch in base camp. Can we do something with that? I feel like that's bitch in base camp. I want to go to exactly.
I want to go to bitchin' base camp.
Yes,
That'll be our
Yes,
first
we should.
rock fight event. We'll host a bitch and base.
It's not
camp.
rock
Yeah, I
fight.
would
It's
love
bitchin'
that.
base camp.
Yes,
I
bitch
do
and
too.
base camp.
Yep.
Okay.
No
Bitch and base.
doubt. No
Actually,
doubt.
next year at Switchback, you got a Trailhead Theater. Like, come on, guys,
the
bitch in
bitchin'
base
base
camp.
camp.
100%.
We get a cut of the proceeds.
Nice.
Yeah.
20% for this crew.
All right, Shawnté.
All right. I am going to go a little techie here because I haven't yet. And I love techie shit. No, I don't actually. I like to just roll around in the dirt. But I'm going with Biolite. I think I love Biolite and Goal Zero have come together. Goal Zero is just iconic in the space. Biolite, I think, has really been an amazing, they've had a great progression in that brand in the space. I took one of their headlamps out on the trail. And I did not need to recharge it once in the span of 3 weeks, which is a minor miracle. So A++ to you, Biolite. It's one of the headlamps coming out this fall. And I think their merger with Goal Zero was such a smart decision. And it's just bringing together two brands that I think when you look at either of them separately, you know exactly what they do. And then them together is just a powerhouse. It's almost like it's taking me back to the days of the Trust Busters, So we've got the Sun Energy, Portable Energy Trust going on here, and I'm not mad at it. So I'm going full Biolite here.
That was a solid choice, Shawnté. Solid choice. Yep.
That you took one of mine off the board there. Well, because the great thing is you actually picked two brands for one because you got the Goal Zero Biolite. I mean, so smart. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right. So I like where I am here. I've got some back-to-back picks. Okay. So I think I should pick a footwear brand. And we have three left, Hoka, On, and
Pick
Merrell.
the one Colin doesn't want to talk about.
Okay. I am going to pick the one that you actually may be surprised. I'm going to pick the brand that came up with the Speed Loafer. Yes, I am going with Hoka. And why do you ask me to go with Hoka? Well, I mean, I actually, from a pure branding perspective, I actually like On better. But On is, let's face it, On is a running brand. They are not really an outdoor brand. Hoka is an outdoor brand. They're a trail running brand. Are they a mole walking brand? Yes. Are they an airport footwear brand? Yes. But they also are a pretty darn cool trail running brand. And maybe I'm thinking back to 2012 when I saw them at OR and then they said that I couldn't have them as a brand. Maybe I'm feeling that vibe. And now I get to be the chooser. So I pick you, Hoka. You are my second to last pick.
This is like The Bachelor all of a sudden. And also, it's in line with the money-making brands that you're
right.
drafting
It
as
really
well.
is, yeah.
This is the moneyest-making brand.
I was just going to say,
probably.
that's actually the printing press right
Yes,
there.
cash money.
Right? Printing press and some really cool color combinations.
And honestly, comfortable shoes. The other shoe my podiatrist recommended was Hoka's, and that's actually how I started running in the Speed Goats. So
There you go.
No, it is still quality product. I mean, that's the thing,
Yeah.
and you are see it out there a lot. All right, before you make your next selection, Owen, we're down to the last four.
It's-
The last four brands on the board, On Running, Merrell, Sea Summit, and Garmin. I got to be honest, Shawnté, since I don't have another pick, so I don't mind saying this. I thought your Biolite pick was going to be Garmin, so like that was kind of that was a good little move you made there. So here we go. We're driving towards the final pick that I'm going to be saddled with.
I think I know what it's going to be.
I think so too. And maybe there's a little karma.
Karma's a bitch.
Might be.
At the base camp.
Okay, so
Gear Abbey's bitchin' base camp.
that's right.
That's-
This is a pretty easy pick for me. It is Sea to Summit. Just first of all, they're Australian, so they're cool right off the bat. I mean, come on. But just right, it's right up there. I would say with MSR in terms of core of the core of backpacking brands. Right. I mean, yes, I think they were in our accessories list, but let's face it, they make so much more than just accessories and cookware. I mean, they make tents, sleep systems, just a whole bunch of stuff. All of it really well engineered, really well thought of, high performance, just a great product on the trail or around the campfire. Sea to Summit.
Yeah, I actually had them pretty high on my draft board. I thought that they would go sooner, honestly. Like, I mean, it makes sense, everything, some of the other picks that were made, but yeah, come on. Yeah, they were one of the, I think, shoe-ins on the accessories, top accessories pod, I believe. All right, Shawnté.
All right. Well, I was going to go Sea to Summit, so I won't. I am going to actually choose. I have Garmin pretty high on my list, but actually I don't want to have two techie things on my list just for my own personal aesthetics. I'm actually going to go with Merrell. And it's because I think that Merrell does a great job appealing to the everyday outdoor user and like family wide. So they do a ton of kids shoes. They do some classic hikers. You got the Merrell Moab, which is, a hugely popular hiking shoe. And I think you could say Merrell and Keen have kind of brought in the idea of the hiking shoe. It's really like when I think back to when that emerged as a category, I want to say those are the two brands that I think really brought it. And they still do. And they know their audience. They know their product. They know who is buying their shoe. They know who is not going to buy their shoe.
Montreal would like a word.
Okay, fair.
Just
fair.
saying.
They don't have. I don't think they have the same. I mean,
Not
this is an
anymore,
own
but
question,
you
no,
talked about
not anymore.
pioneering for sure.
Okay.
Second Montreux mention on this pod. That's
are you
amazing.
getting paid?
Gone but not forgotten.
You getting that sweet, sweet ghost Montreal money?
And Merrell, based in Michigan, here in my home state.
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, come on. They made the Jungle Mock. Hey.
It's true.
Yeah, I think they're a solid brand that appeals to more of an everyday like a casual user, but somebody who is using those shoes. And you see, a lot of people are like, Merrell, those are dad shoes, but those are dads that are taking their kids out hiking, and now they've got shoes that they all feel comfortable in. So hell yeah. I also think Merrell has done some cool things with artists over the years, and Latasha Dunstan did a really cool shirt for them at some point, so I think that they're trying to, they did a with Unlikely Hikers, they did a collab. So I think that they're also trying to reach out to the outdoor community as a whole and try to remain relevant to a large sector of maybe, non-hardcore users, but those everyday people that are getting out and maybe even just discovering the outdoors for the first time. So I think kudos to them for feeling like an accessible brand.
Also, what I would say is kudos to their leadership, Chris Hufnagel, who one of the few brands that was, I would say, brave enough to say, we are selling way too much shit. It's just driving a bunch of discounting in the marketplace. We're going to do a reset. They took a 45% sales cut to get back to what was a healthy volume for them. And now we're seeing that in their margins, in their growth numbers. And unfortunately, I think there are more brands in the industry that need to take that step, but they did it, and kudos to them.
When we made the top 5 footwear list, which again was our first one, I mean, Merrell got the nod over the Obos, the Keens, as sort of like we wanted to have that kind of, a steady Eddie footwear brand, right? And it was like that was clearly the choice if we wanted to include something there. So that is why they are on this board. A big reason why they're on this board, for sure. I will say that your team is now officially the apologists, though, because this is the other brand that we call it out at the live show. So between Cotopaxi and Merrell.
Merrell by Merrell, but
we call them out for a different reason. We call them out for the opposite reason to Cotopaxi.
That's a good point.
They were striving versus.
They were over enthusiastic, I believe.
Maximalists.
Right?
I think they should also, not to go back on that, but like they figured out a workaround.
They did.
So they that was innovation. Actually.
There you go. See.
more than their
Well,
shoes.
Shawnté, you proved that karma is dead because I thought that's for sure where this was all headed. That I was gonna
Nice.
have Merrell on my team, which makes for an interesting finish here, Dave. You got two choices. You got On Running and Garmin.
It's not a surprise at all, Colin. If you look at my my list, Mountain Hardwear, Exped, Birkenstock, Picture, there's really clearly only one brand that would complete this, right? That everyone has a pairing, everyone belongs with one another, right? And so the balance is achieved by bringing On Running into my apparel and footwear outdoor boutique that is clearly cooler than yours.
Okay.
I love a spite pick.
It's a very Portland list.
Portland, that's just anywhere where you're going to have people that care about what they look like, that enjoy a good functional product, that want to be looking forward, not backward. It's like,
Well,
so.
clearly, Dave is very Euro cool. I mean, we've got On Running, Swiss, Picture Organic, French. Birkenstock, I think, is German.
Auf Deutsch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hardwear, which is
US.
Berkeley,
California.
which is the Bay Area, which we
There you
know
go.
is just communist.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
true.
very much European.
Yes.
Hardware is a bit of the outlier against the other four, but it does fit in.
They all
so.
work together. No, it's
They
it's a
do.
rich
They do.
tapestry, Colin.
I'd go
It's
to
a
Dave's
rich
store.
it's a rich tapestry. Yeah, right.
Well, sorry, Garmin, you're with me. You're with
Yeah.
the final pick. I'll
Garmin
take
was
you. I love Garmin.
They were the last brand on my list. And not because I hate
I've been
Garmin,
pretty high.
but I just think that they are it's a little nichey for outdoor, and their margins are for shit. So as a retailer,
That's why you had them
Well,
low. I think
They have
I love their products.
They have the toughest positioning kind of play of all of the brands, right? They're coming from a leadership in a category that really doesn't exist anymore. That's been taken over by technology in your phone and your watch. And so how do they stay relevant? And so they've really had to pivot and shift on the fly for years now and really try to come out of that. And that's a difficult place to be, but look, they're still here and they're still relevant. They're in the game, right?
agreed.
It's my bike computer. I mean, I've watched. I know, Shawnté, you've used Garmin's as well. Like it's, I think it's a great brand, but and good products. But, and there's nothing wrong with what's the last pick of the NFL draft? What do they call it? The Mr.
Irrelevant.
Mr. Sad Boy.
Mr. Irrelevant. That's right.
Yeah.
You're not Mr. Irrelevant, Garmin. You were in the game. All right, let's everybody run through your list. Give us your thoughts on your team, and run us through who you got.
I have I mean, all-star lineup here: NEMO, Osprey, Fjallraven, Hoka, Sea to Summit. I mean, come on,
pretty good.
people.
That's a strong list.
Pretty
strong.
good list.
Uh-huh.
Shawnté?
All right, I went a little classic here. I've got Cotopaxi, MSR, Outdoor Research, Merrell, and Biolite. And I think I kind of I think I've got a lot of coverage. So there's a lot of different products somebody's coming to get. This is my little store. May not be as cool as Dave's, but I think that they're going to be able to come and get what they need at my shop.
Yeah, classic, Alpine shop, right?
That's right. I am like a small town mountain shop, just, serving you coffee in the morning even.
Come in, say, I need some things. Can you tell me where to go today? What trail should I go out to today? And you're like,
can do
let
that.
me tell you.
I can
right?
do that.
Yeah. You know what you should call your store?
What, Colin?
Gear Abby's Bitchin' Base Camp.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to make my public announcement now that I'm going to leave my day job and open a mountain shop.
If there was a store in my town called Bitchin' Base Camp, I'd go
I
there
would go
every
there.
single day.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
I want a sticker at the very least.
Right?
Yeah.
Dave, take us through your team.
Well, we're bringing Mountain Hardwear, Exped, Birkenstock, Picture Organic, and On Running. You might serve coffee in the morning. We're serving a nice craft lager in the afternoon, having a good community run, coming back and looking over poster art. So there you go.
My
This
crew
would be
might be the
cool,
most
too.
Little gallery
eclectic.
showing.
There's not really a theme through my team. Norda, Black Diamond, Smartwool, LIVSN, and Garmin. Pretty interesting mix. Doesn't really flow.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
like every single brand. I think in their own individual way, they bring a lot of strength. And I think the mix of it is, there's not a theme. It's like, hey, listen, we just have really strong brands here. Okay. You're going to be able to you
Colin,
got running.
as
you
much
can
as yours
track-
feels like a bunch of leftovers, there's some really strong communities in there that people that love those brands. But
Mostly, I just want to point out that Owen didn't draft LIVSN.
Right.
I didn't get a
right.
chance to. You took it
What
before.
kind of
before
what
I
kind of
I
board?
didn't get
What kind of board advisor
It was
is
the
that?
12th pick.
Which proves I cannot be bought, Colin.
That's true. I can't.
Man of
we know
integrity.
this. We know.
All right, I think that's the draft. We will get these up on Instagram and on LinkedIn, and you can vote of who you think put the best team together. And we'll start this all over again, guys. January, get ready for the next the 2026 edition of the top fives. Now we know what we're doing. So next year is going to be great.
Watch out.
Do we want to announce now? Is Solomon going to be eligible for 2026?
I actually
100%.
Do they get an automatic slot?
I think
right.
I think
Right.
they should get the apology slot. Like, oh fuck, yeah.
It's basically a
would
buy
be-
round.
That would be kind of fun if we just vote somebody out at the beginning of the year. Like, yeah, you're out this year. Just randomly.
And just so that we're clear, for next year, you can still win if you won this year. You can retain your position.
Oh,
I
that's
think
a
we
good
got to make
question.
them work for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do they you won last year? These 20 brands are off the board. They cannot participate next year.
So we'll have to figure that out. I don't know if you can figure it out right
Yeah.
now, but
We'll do
that's a
some more
worthy
shopping.
question, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like both directions there. All right, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Way into the
If
comments.
you want to be considered, send an email to My Rock Fight. That's right. Inquire about advertising opportunities.
Whoever sends the most money to Shawnté's Venmo.
It's
will-
just, listen,
right.
$10 a pop is all it takes. It's Shawnté-Salabert.
That's right. At Bitchin' Base
How many
Camp.
have you gotten now? 2, 3?
3.
That's amazing.
But
We have the best
the
listeners.
tough part about that, Shawnté, is you say Shawnté-Salabert as if anybody knows how to spell Shawnté
Spell
or
any part of
Salabert.
that.
That's right. That's right.
At least 3
Listen, the
people do.
intrepid ones figured it out.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, we can wrap it up there. We want your emails, like Dave said, especially about this episode. Please send them to myrockfight@gmail.com. The Rock Fight is a production of Rock Fight LLC. Our producer today, and he did produce this episode, folks, was producer David Karstad. Art direction provided by Sarah, who is that Sarah Gensert, and for Shawnté Salabert and Eoin Comerford, I'm Colin True. Thanks for listening. Here to take us out is Krista Makes with the Rock Fight fight song. We'll see you next time, Rock Fighters.
Rock fight.